Merriman.
Deputy Speaker, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to sit here for the last 4 hours exercising, as we have been in this area, no doubt contributing towards our own social care needs in the future. Madam Deputy Speaker, in the next 20 years, the population in England alone will increase by 10%. The numbers of over 75s in England will increase by 60%. That's an extra 2.7 million people. Between 2020 and 2021, there were 1.9 million inquiries for social care in England. The system is creaking. And in my constituency, a third of my constituents are over the age of 65. So this tells us that we need to act now. And I do applaud the government for taking decisive action now. I do have concerns about the action that we are taking, but I would say that we need to act now, and the government is acting now. My concerns around this particular measure are perhaps three. Firstly, I'm concerned that we have a health and social care levy, which will first of all, in its prior existence for the first year, go towards health. I am really concerned we will then get that out of the NHS and into the social care side. We know how difficult it is to convince people that a temporary lift to universal credit was just temporary. How on earth are we going to challenge the equivalence of Marcus Rashford when it comes to the NHS in persuading people this wasn't a cut, but it was always a plan just for a period of time, and then we move the money to social care? There doesn't seem to be any guarantee on that, and I'm concerned politically it will be very difficult for any government to do so. Secondly, I'm concerned about the intergenerational unfairness that could be seen on this particular measure. I have advocated, along with others who are here in this chamber, with a measure that looks also for those that are retired, do have the nest egg, to actually pay more for the service that they will use, rather than expecting the younger cohort, through national insurance, to have to pay for it when they themselves do not have a home of their own. And if you look at the German model that was actually built because of the regional imbalances of reunification, the Germans looked at this model and made a provision that everybody would pay in, workers and the employer. Those that are retired actually had to pay both parts. No one would have to pay more than €138 per month for it. It took the political heat out of the system. It delivers, and it uses the private market in terms of insurance providers to deliver. You are incentivised to look after your parents in their own home. You can take money from the insurance fund to do so. And I would like to see the time we have now spent to see if we really can look more at that model. And if that doesn't work for the more catastrophic situations, then what about the noble Lord Lilly's proposal of taking a charge against the property so that the premium is paid out? He estimated about £16,000, and then on the death of the person, that property, the charge is released from the sale of the property. Both those plans look more towards the people that use the service having to pay into it. And I think that those who are older would see the fairness of that, because it's their children and their grandchildren that have to pay the national insurance. And I'm concerned overall, thirdly, on the entire tax take. We are going to have to look at reining in public spending. This has to stop. We need to allocate money towards the NHS with strict criteria as to where it's going to be spent, because it cannot be right that somebody at the age of 27 who is a graduate paying tuition fees back as well is seeing 42% of their pay on tax. That is not what Conservatives set out to be, to give people the opportunity and the chance to build dreams. But that having said, we do need to act now. I recognise the health service does need injection of funding. I will be supporting the government, but I do want to see these measures I've just touched on really developed before it's too late.